What's up, everybody? This is Dreadful Talk, episode 5. And man, I had a bunch of cool topics planned out, fun, chill shit that I wanted to talk about. And but then something happened to me last night. And I don't know, a lot of y'all probably saw my Facebook post about it, or I think I even put it on my IG live story last night. How, yeah, in 2020 and liberal San Jose, I was called a nigger in my front yard last night. And I can't right now, Garrett. I'm doing something, but doing something specific. But yeah, I had something I needed to talk to y'all about. And yeah, like I said, I was called a nigger last night in my own front yard here in San Jose. And there's a couple of just points I want to touch on about that. But the first thing I got to explain that a lot of y'all might not understand is the level of homelessness in the Bay Area. And that'll become relevant later in the story. But yeah, homelessness in the Bay Area is just on another level. I mean, California in general. And I mean, it's not as bad in San Jose as it is in San Francisco, but I mean, there's a lot of homeless people. And I mean, for the most part, they pretty much keep to themselves. They, don't, they're a little minor inconvenience, you know what I mean? I try not to, be too hard on them, I mean, at the same time, you got to keep arm's distance because, try to take advantage or whatever. But, for the most part, most of them mind their business. I mind my business. It's not too big of a deal. But, yeah, so yesterday, I was watching the UFC Fight Night. And I'll probably do another little thing about the fights, after this. I just got to get this out there. And but, yeah, I was watching the fights. And then the fights ended at a relatively early time because they were all super fast fights, a bunch of first round finishes. And so I go outside because we're gonna take the dog for a walk, and I just purely step on the front porch just to see how cold it is, just gauge the temperature. Do I need a jacket? Do I not? And so yeah, I step out on the front porch, and I noticed there's a homeless dude in our driveway. I don't know, he's off of his bike. He has a bicycle, and it's he's just kind of standing in the driveway. And I was I mean, I wasn't paying him no mind. I mean, we live in downtown. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of homeless people here, so it's not that out of the ordinary. And so I was just I'm minding my own business, and then he starts there's a sign in our yard. I don't know. He starts actually being super cool to him, super chill. Oh no, it's cool. I'm not worried about it. Do what you need to do. I thought he was working on his bike chain or something. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't really paying him too much mind. I've just trained myself. I get a little more intrigued, but I'm still not that worried about it. You know what I mean? I swear, I'm really trying to be chill. I'm really, but we have this little sign in our yard that says, the fourth Friday of the month, you can't park there from a certain time for street sweeping. And it's this is the only thing he said that made sense. It's it was facing the wrong way. It had been twisted. It wasn't facing the street anymore. And he was looking at it really hard. And he was so many people have been coming to look by this sign. do you notice that it's not facing the right way? And I'm still just kind of like trying to be chill. And I'm like, yeah, no, I noticed that. Yeah, it's facing the wrong way. How strange. But then he's like, no, people are like coming. He's like starting to get weird. Like, let's just put it that way. Starting to make less and less sense. You know, my kind of bullshit meter's going up and up and up. It's just like going from a chill situation to a strange situation pretty quickly. And then, like, so, once again, though, man, like, I was not trying to mess with this man. So, like, we walk across the street, and we kind of just, like, are gonna kind of just keep minding our business, going about our shit. And then, he screams to us, like, across the street. We're not that far now, maybe, like, 20 yards away. And he was like, am I right? The sign's facing the wrong way. Am I right? And I was like, no, man, you're right. Once again, I was just trying to be chill. I was like, yeah, you're right. It's facing the wrong way. And then I was like, hey, but, you know, now that I think about it, you know, you've been in our driveway for about 15 minutes now, and I don't really want you there when I get back from my walk. So I was like, I'm about to walk. You know, I was like, it's like at the time I still thought he was maybe working on his bike or something. I was like, you know, I wasn't aggressive. I was like, you know, finish doing whatever it is that you're doing. I was like, I didn't really understand what he was doing, but I was like, once again, I'm not trying to super rush him. I was like, I'll probably be back in like 10 minutes, and I'd appreciate it if you still weren't in my driveway whenever I got back. And he doesn't say anything, and I'm like, all right. And like, so I turn around and start walking, and now I get to like the end of the block. I'm probably like 50 yards away from him at this point, 40, 50 yards. And he's like, you fucking nigger, you fucking nigger. And like honestly, like, I don't know. At that point, I still wasn't even really mad, as strange as that sounds. I just was kind of confused, like just trying to get like a gauge of the situation. You know what I mean? See where you know what I'm saying? Is he talking to me? Like, what's going on? Is it because, you know, my cousin who lives in the house is half black as well. So it's like, I don't know if he's talking to him. Like, I don't know what's going on. And so, like, I turn around, and I say to Nina, like, at this point, I don't feel comfortable, like, walking around the block with this, like, essentially crazy, now irate, homeless dude just in our driveway, and he's been there for, like, over 15 minutes at this point. And so I turn around, and I say to Nina, like, let's just go, let's go back in the house. We can let Holly in the backyard, you know, maybe we won't take a walk tonight. It doesn't seem like the best time to take one. Like, at that point, I still wasn't in, like aggressive mode, like, to be honest. But I also, you know, it's not my first rodeo. And I was wearing the same hoodie. It's like a zip-up hoodie. Like, it doesn't fit very tight. It's kind of loose. Not something you'd want to get in a physical altercation in, that's for sure. And so as we're walking back, because like I said, this dude's in my driveway. So, like, I'm not walking back to dude. I'm walking back home, but I'm going to have to come within 10 yards of this guy to go in my front yard. So, I just want to be prepared just in case it goes left. I'm not fighting, you know what I mean, in this baggy-ass hoodie. And so, I take off my hoodie, like, essentially just, like, be prepared, like, just in case. But I don't know if that, like, fueled my fight or flight instinct, or just, like, the closer I got to him, like, with each step, my heart was just beating faster and faster. My adrenaline was starting to fire, you know what I mean? And then, like, next thing I know, I was mad. Like, it was weird. Like, I went from, like, not really having, like, bad intentions to essentially wanting to smoke in a matter of, like, just the time it took to walk 30 yards. You know what I mean? Like, so now, like, he sees me walking towards him. I'm down on like a sleeveless undershirt. And like I said, now I'm like 15 yards away from him, and I don't know what changed, but now I want the smoke. And I was like, you fucking call me a nigger? Who the fuck are you talking to? And he starts like trying to hurry up and get on his bike real fast. And then I was just like bring your ass here. And like at this point, like I was fully about just to run up on him. And then he like literally like timing like a movie. He was barely able to like speed off on his bike, like right as I was essentially about to piece. And yeah, so I mean, you know, he's a homeless dude, probably some mental health issues. You know, he's an older white dude, like probably late 50s, I would say, like kind of salt and pepper hair. And so, I mean, you know, how much thought did he put into it? How there was he? You know, I don't know. But is that motherfucker still in the wrong? Is that some shit that I should have to put up with? Hell no. Like, is he wrong? Hell yeah. Should I have to put up with it? Hell no. Just especially just in the climate, you know, like I definitely, you know, I didn't fool myself to think that there was like no racist in California or no racist in the Bay Area. Like, that's foolish. You know, humans are good and bad everywhere. But that was one of the more direct and like, you know, overt and obvious like racist encounters I've had since I've been out here. And kind of wanted to touch on this briefly. Like, it's just like a different racial dynamic here. And like I having lived in the Bay Area, having lived in Oklahoma, like, you know, Oklahoma still has just a lot of that like down south, just institutional racism. Like, I've made this statement before, and some people say it makes sense, some people says it doesn't make sense, but like I even firmly believe a lot of people in Oklahoma like don't even know they're racist. They're just like these subconscious biases and political and religious worldview twisted, just, you know what I mean? It's not like a lot of times like they really might not even know they're racist. Like, I believe that type of racist exists. I don't know, some people think that makes sense, some people don't. I have a nice little theory on it, but it's just there. But everybody knows it's there. Like, you're not going to really meet anybody from Oklahoma that says like, oh yeah, there's not that much racism here. Like, I don't know, like people know what's up, generally speaking. But in San Jose, it's the exact opposite. Like, people drink the Kool-Aid that this is just this like liberal paradise melting pot where racism doesn't exist. And like, I remember back whenever like in 2016, I very, 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 very first moved here. It was like right as the election was happening, whenever old dipshit Donnie got elected, and everybody out here was like, there's no way he can possibly. A lot more people like that than like y'all are giving it credit for. And it's like I don't know, like, I guess because, and then you'll even hear the argument from some Bay Area white people that like racism doesn't really exist anymore because they don't see it every day here and shit. So it's like it creates its own weird problem. It's like where it's just, there's like this denial, and it's like everybody out here thinks that like somehow the Bay Area is past that, but then like clearly we're not. And then like one other thing I wanted to touch on, like I had somebody, I won't say no names, but I had somebody, and I actually felt it was kind of disrespectful, but you know, I handled it, you know, maturely and respectfully. Somebody was like, called you a nigger, you don't even look black. And that's I mean, clearly an out of line thing to say to somebody, but you know, I somewhat understood where they were coming from, I guess. Like, but just, I guess if anybody is confused about this, like, mixed people experience racism too. You don't have to be, you know, Akon Dark to get called the N-word or to experience racism. And actually, in my experience as a mixed dude, sometimes racists may like dislike me more because I'm like their worst nightmare. I'm like the results of in what they call race mixing, which like to white supremacy, like their whole goal is to stop race mixing. So seeing like the manifestation of race mixing can kind of trigger them, maybe even in a different way. And like, yeah, like, so back in the slavery days, there was a rule called the one drop rule. Being mixed race is a new concept. Back in like the slavery days and like the pre, Civil War days, if you had one drop of Negro blood in you, as they would say, that you were considered a Negro and treated as a Negro and had the rights of a Negro, and whether that meant slavery or, Jim Crow or any of that. So like I hear that's another weird argument I sometimes hear from white people. Well, if you're mixed, then aren't you just as much white? Fucking be surprised just the dumbass shit that I've had to hear kind of in that vein of thinking. But yeah, I don't know. I made that post yesterday. It got a lot of traction. I know a lot of my friends and family were concerned about me. And I'm sure a lot of people that do know me were like, how the hell did this guy not get the fuck beat out of him for calling you the N-word? And I honestly tried, people. I haven't gotten that soft. I've grown up. I've grown up some. I've come a long way with my anger and all that. But I ain't that much the bigger man. Yeah, I was going to fucking whoop his ass, but he just got away by the hair on his chin. And, I chased after him. He was on a bike, you know what I mean? Told him to keep it pushing. But yeah, so, I just kind of want to just tell that experience of I had yesterday. Let everybody know I'm all right. Like, I'm not, like, shaking up. Like, I'm mad. Like, this ain't my first rodeo. Like, I know that's another thing, and it's good and bad. Like, I feel like a lot of white people since the George Floyd thing have kind of, like, woken up to everything that's going on. But it's like, to all of us, like, this shit been going on every day of our whole life. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like everybody's so shocked and, oh, my God, I can't believe it. Well, I say everybody, white people are like so shocked and can't believe it. And, oh, my God, this is really, like, it's really as bad as y'all said it was. Like, man, go back and listen to some 30-year-old Public Enemy albums. This shit is not new. This is not the flavor of the week. This is like as American as apple pie. Like, this is the American experience for people of color. Like, it's not some crazy rare concept. Or like, this is just a day. It's another day in the life. So, I don't know. Everybody, I'm going to post this in the comments of my Facebook post that I did yesterday. So I know people were concerned or curious, want to reach out or show sympathy or support or whatever. I was going to want to tell my story, Everybody be safe out there, Don't assume because you know what I mean, in a big city or a blue state or whatever that you safe, man. You see they lynching people down in SoCal. So to all my, black brothers and sisters out there, man, keep your head on a swivel, man. This shit is getting real. This shit ain't no norm. Like they really lynching people. They found another one in New York. Oh, and another thing, before I hear anybody try to support these dumbass theories, them trust me, black people that want to commit suicide don't fucking hang themselves from a tree. Like, you want to talk about some fake news. Like, if that don't send your bullshit meter all the way the fuck off, then you really a stupid motherfucker. You really a sheep. And they need to definitely investigate and do right by them boys, man. But just keep your head on a swivel, man. If you live in an open carry state or a concealed carry state, Take advantage of your Second Amendment right, man. I mean, I know you rather be, or even if you ain't, man, sometimes we might be in the climate where you better off judged by 12 than carried by 6, man. I know I feel that way sometimes. I ain't going to say too much more, but every once in a while, you just got to make a decision that you think is in the best interest of your family's safety and your safety. Fuck these unconstitutional California gun laws. The only reason why these fucking liberals don't even know their history, and I say that because I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, so I don't want Republicans thinking I'm on your side either, because I'm not. Fuck you too. But these liberals think that these gun laws were passed because of school shootings. You know, California had some of the loosest gun laws in the nation until the Black Panthers stormed the state capitol in Sacramento with Mini 14 semi-automatic, quote-unquote, what the Capitol and like the resulting gun laws that came of that. All your, all your left wingers that hate guns. That's the real history behind that. Stay safe out there. Actually, in the words of YG, stay dangerous, man. It might no longer be time to stay safe. It may be time to stay dangerous, y'all. But